Guys, it's Chris here from Arcade Rescue 911. Today we're going to talk about what's in this bag, so stay tuned. Alright guys, so what is going on? It's been a long time, right? We haven't talked and I haven't made a video probably for about 2 weeks. A lot has happened. I've been on a vacation, had a great time. Can't complain about that. Did some fun exploring around Austin, Texas. Took the whole family and we had a great time. So now it's back to the grind. It's Wednesday morning actually. It's about 10:30 in the morning. I've got a couple things going on today, but I wanted to take some time out and get caught up and do a video for the week here. So again, we're talking about what's in the bag here. I've got a Raspberry Pi 2 in the bag here. This is the Raspberry Pi 2. I've had a lot of people asking me about a Raspberry Pi used in the application of a multi-cade arcade machine. So I wanted to kind of talk about the feasibility of that. And actually, they started out with a Raspberry Pi 1. This is a Raspberry Pi 2 Model B. And then now they make a Raspberry Pi 3. I've had this Pi 2 for about 6 or 8 months. I wanted to buy one to tinker around with it to see, actually if it would be feasible to build an arcade machine or a multi-cade machine and have this running the emulation. So that's why I bought this. When you buy your Pi, you can get, they don't come with a case unless you buy a package that has a case included. So this acrylic neon green case came separate. I mounted my Pi 2 in here, and then they also give you a couple little accessories. Mine actually happened to come with a fan. This is like a little CPU fan. It'll mount kind of on there and it plugs into the Pi board. I haven't mounted mine yet. Honestly, I haven't even used my Raspberry Pi 2 long enough to get get it hot. But then mine also came with I've got this little USB. This is a Wi-Fi stick, a USB Wi-Fi stick, and it'll plug into the Raspberry Pi 2. So your Raspberry Pi 2, mine here is a B, again, Model B, and it's a Pi 2. But they're all pretty much the same. They have the same ports. This one has, as you can see, it's got a network, a Cat5 Ethernet port. It's got 4 USB ports. It's got an HDMI video out. Next to that is a 3.5 millimeter, this side, 3.5 millimeter audio and component video port. Then there's your power adapter port. Basically, it's the same as like your Android phones, the smaller phone charger port. And then you've got a, let's see, where is it at? Yeah, you've got a micro SD card slot. That's where you're going to load in your operating system. These don't come with an operating system. And that's about it. There's a 40-pin GPIO or PPIO, I believe it's called. And basically that's a port where you could interface controls and things like that. There's a camera and a display port adapter up here also. Your keyboard and mouse and any accessories that you're going to use are going to plug into your USB ports. So what I want to do today is I wanted to kind of set this thing up and show you. I downloaded RetroPie. It's basically like an emulator front end that runs through Linux. These run on a Linux operating system. The Pi 2 mine happens to be a second generation. It's a 900 megahertz quad-core ARM7 processor, quad-core, and it's again, it runs a Linux-based operating system. So we're going to have a front end that loads up through Linux, and we're going to hook it up to our monitor here and let you guys kind of check out what you would expect if you bought and got one of these up and running. I got to say this, guys, I'm open for comments and criticism because my knowledge on this thing is very limited. So if you guys have more experience and you want to correct me on anything that I may be misinforming our viewers about, please feel free to do so. I do take criticism openly, so don't hesitate to correct me if I'm wrong here. Again, I don't think that me personally will start using these into my arcade multi-cade machines that I build here. I'm very happy with the iCade setup. It's stable. It's been around for a long time. These here are more for amateurs or hobbyists, you know, but you know, there are those people in this arcade hobby that will definitely get into these. And I had a few questions about these come through on my arcade email site, Arcade Rescue email. So if you guys, you know, I wanted to do a little video to show you my knowledge, anyways, of what you can, how you can use these into an arcade application. So without further ado, guys, I want to hook this up to the monitor. Alright, so I got my display hooked up here. We're going to plug this thing in. We're not going to make this a long, drawn-out tech video about the Raspberry Pi. This is going to be basically, again, a brief video showing you how this could be used in the application of the Raspberry Pi in the world of arcade machines. If you want more information on Raspberry Pis and the technical end of things on them, there's tons and tons of other YouTube videos and channels, so you can explore those options. But again, we're going to plug this thing in and show you basically how it could be used in an arcade machine. So here's our Pi. Here's our power cord here. This is a standard, like a cell phone. I could plug this in and charge my cell phone, but in this case it plugs into the Pi. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to take our video cable. I've got an HDMI port and cable here that I'm going to plug into the Pi, just like that. And then we're going to plug in, I've got a USB keyboard that we're going to plug in. So I've got that plugged in. My keyboard is over here. I'll set this down here in front of my monitor in case I need the keyboard. And then we're also going to plug in, I've got basically a PC joystick. It's got a USB plug for the joystick, and it plugs into the Raspberry Pi, and then we have joystick control for the game. In our case here, we're going to basically apply power to it, and I've already got my SD card here with my software installed, so we're going to apply power to the Raspberry Pi. Let's see here, it goes this way. You see the lights come on, and we'll set this down, and you'll see as it boots up here, it's loading up the Retro Pi front end. As this loads up, it's basically the emulator. It's I believe running Linux. Again, guys, correct me if I'm wrong here. It's called Emulation Station, and all this stuff is available on the web, so you guys can download it. And basically, it's as simple as downloading it to your SD card, pulling your SD card out, and putting it into your Pi, and you're up and running. So this is the front end. This is the first screen you'll get to. As you can see right away, it's got Amiga, Apple, there's Infocom. There's many different emulators that this software will run. And you can enable and disable ones that you're using or not using. Or you can have it load directly up into a game. There's a lot of options here. I'll kind of scroll through with my joystick and show you. So again, Amiga, there's Apple II, there's Atari 2600, Atari 5200, the Sega Dreamcast, great system, Game Boy Advanced, the Game Boy Color, Macintosh. There's your MAME for your arcade machines. There's your Nintendo, MS-DOS. Ports are like your, there's some games that are ported over to run on the Raspberry Pi, like Doom and Quake and stuff are under that menu. There's your Retro Pi. That's your settings. You can see the gears. That's your settings for your emulator. Here's another one. I'm not sure exactly what that is. If you guys know or can comment on what that is. You've got Infocom. Basically, that's your that's another software company, I believe, or developer. But DOS is on there. Forgot to mention. All right, so let's load up. I've got MAME here. Let's load up MAME. So we're gonna hit X. We're gonna go into MAME, and I've got one ROM installed right now, just Journey. It's everybody's probably heard of the old classic game Journey. I just happen to have this one on here, and so we're gonna load this up. So we're gonna hit A, You can see it loads up the ROM, and there's the game starting. So now you can see it emulates the game. Of course, we don't have sound plugged in, but we could actually start the game if we I think we hit, let's see, I'm not sure how the controls are set up, but let's see. Yeah, there's a start button. So I hit the start button on the joystick, and as you can see, the game starts up. I'm not sure if I'm on 1 or 2 player, but so I'm into the game, and I'm using my joystick here to play the game. So we got to move Steve Perry down here to the bottom and get the microphone. And of course, we got to get him back up to the top here. You guys have probably played this game before. It's a great game. Finding an original one is probably next to impossible, so I may have to build one, and maybe I'll use my MAME for that. So anyways, I'm not good at this game, and I didn't clear that section. But so you get the point there. So we can back out of this. We'll hit escape on the keyboard, and we can go back to our menu, and we can go back again with our B button also, and then we can go into, let's see if anything else loads here. Atari 2600, looks like there's 645 games. So if we go into there, you can kind of see the listing of games there. It's all alphabetized. If you wanted to go back to, let's see if we got anything on Nintendo. Nintendo, we've got 534 Nintendo ROMs installed. And this is just a small listing. I just dragged a section of the Nintendo ROMs. As you can see, I started on L and went down from there. I didn't get them all, but I just kind of got, you know, I got 534 ROMs. Again, I started with L and just dragged them over to my micro SD card. If we go back, we can maybe look at, let's see if we got Game Boy Color. There's 200 and something ROMs. We've got Game Boy Advanced. Dreamcast, I don't know if I got anything. I only got, yeah, just System Manager is the only thing on Dreamcast. Haven't done anything with that. Atari 5200. It's got all your ROMs there. Amiga, I don't think there's anything. Basically there, it's going to start your workbench or whatever you have hooked up. Infocom, not sure what that is. Oh, okay, you got your Zork games. That's pretty cool. If you guys remember the old computer game Zork, it's all text. Here's this one here. Let's see what this is. I don't know what that is. We'll click into it and see what it does. Okay, so there you go. Maybe you guys know what this is. I'm not sure what it is, but maybe you guys can comment and tell me what that is there. So we got back out of that. DOS, we can go into a DOS prompt. Don't want to do that. Ports, let's go to ports here. Doom, Duke Nukem, Quake, Super Mario War, I don't know what that is. That might be some kind of a homebrew. Cave Story, not sure what that is either, but I know the rest of these. So let's go back to our ports. Let's try one more here. Doom, let's try Doom. See if it loads up here. There you go. So guys, there's the Raspberry Pi. This is a 2 Model B, and it's running the RetroPie front end. So that was the Raspberry Pi 2. I don't think that these will ever replace what we put into our multicade machines, but I like to have my retro or my Raspberry Pi so I can kind of check out some console games and some arcade games if I don't have an actual machine to play it on, or if there's something that I don't remember, an arcade game or a console game. It'd be cool to load it up on the RetroPie. I like the size of the Raspberry Pi. I like the fact that I can plug in a joystick, like a PlayStation joystick, and play the games. About as far as I'm going to take mine is I'm going to finish loading up ROMs and load up all my emulators and all my ROMs and basically have it, ready to go. It's a lack of time. you guys that are watching this channel, again, probably have more experience on these than I do. If one of you guys has an SD card, a micro SD card, and have played around with the Raspberry Pi, if you guys have one that's loaded and ready to go, if you guys can make me a copy of that, that would be fantastic. I'd be happy to send you a replacement card or whatever it would take to get that sent to me. I don't have the time to go through and add every ROM file to every emulator, so if any of you guys do have experience with that, please drop me a line. You can reach us at arcade911@comcast.net. We did some work on our website, so if you haven't been over there lately, check that out. That's www.arcaderescue911.com. For the latest info, you want to check out our Facebook page. We've got some updates on there that we try to do pretty regularly. Also, coming up in the future, we got a fellow YouTuber had done an interview with us here and did a tour of our shop. So be on the lookout for that. And I'll send, once he gets that edited and put together, I'll send a link to that up also, so you guys can check out his view of Arcade Rescue 911. I got this sent to me. Basically, this is it's some info on an upcoming, it's the first annual Arcade Video Game Expo, and this is in Rosemont, Illinois. It's coming up August 25th through the 27th. You guys can see that. I think I'm going to try to make an appearance out there. It looks like they're going to have some pretty heavy hitters in the arcade world out there. We got guests including Walter Day and Billy Mitchell, both great guys. Met them both. Got Richie Knuckles, Eugene Jarvis, and Joel West. So it looks like it's going to be a pretty solid event there. If you guys want to be on the lookout for that, maybe try to attend. I'll send some info if I'm going to definitely attend this event. If so, then I'll be recording some video, and I'll have my shirt on. If you guys want to be on the lookout again for some more info if we're going to be attending that event. So that's all I got for you. It's been a couple weeks since we were able to get a video up, so I'm sorry about that, but be on the lookout. We're going to do some more videos very soon. And as always, guys, remember, game, not over.